This is cannabis oil. This is cancer on cannabis oil. Any questions?
I'd have questions too if I was you. So here's my story. My name's Dave Tриплет, and I cured my skin cancer using cannabis oil.
Several years ago, I had 2 lesions removed from the tip of my nose. In 2009, the lesions began to return in several places. I went to the doctor, and the doctor gave me a prescription for a cream. He told me to put the cream on my entire face and neck. He also told me to wait until after the holidays to use it because it may cause some redness. I did a Google search for the cream and I realized it was chemotherapy. Next, I found some photojournals of people who have used the cream. The photos, as you can see, are quite alarming. After seeing the results of what the chemotherapy cream can do, I decided to look into alternatives. Recently, my friend Jennifer had sent me a video about Rick Simpson curing cancer with hemp oil. It was called Run from the Cure, so I decided to start there. After I watched Run from the Cure, I began to do some searches. I was really surprised at how much information was available. These are a few of the videos I found.
Breast cancer kills more than 41,000 American women every year. Researchers in the San Francisco lab are working to shrink that number, and they're doing it with an unusual weapon, marijuana.
It's not just THC. These trichomes contain CBD, another valuable chemical.
We're fascinated by this stuff.
What we found is that this compound called cannabidiol was particularly effective at inhibiting aggressive breast cancer.
I discovered that despite my training in medicine and science, I had been brainwashed that this substance, marijuana, that in fact it's remarkably non-toxic. There's never been a death from it. And I went from there. And that started me on a long interest in researching this substance.
Marijuana may actually help reduce the risk of certain types of cancer. A new Brown University study found long-term pot users are 62% less likely to develop head and neck cancers. This includes cancers of the mouth, tongue, nose, sinus, throat, and lymph nodes.
Breast cancer, prostate cancer, pheochromocytoma, lymphoma, leukemia, skin cancer, a whole variety of cancers that in experimental situations, meaning in tissue culture or in animal models, you can in fact show that cannabinoids kill these cancers.
Into its bloodstream and was carried to its brain. There it met the cannabinoid receptor evolved so many millions of years earlier in the humble sea squirt. And it just so happened to fit like a key in a lock.
Researchers suggest chemicals found in pot called cannabinoids can have an anti-tumor effect.
People are quite excited about the ability of these cannabinoids to kill cancer cells.
After a few more searches and watching a few more videos, I decided it was time to get myself some cannabis oil. Because I live in California, I was able to go to one of the dispensaries to get some hemp oil. At the dispensaries, they refer to it as hash oil. It's also called honey oil and cannabis extract. Most people in California, such as myself, refer to it as hash oil. I used the oil for 3 to 4 weeks before I saw any results. Then the results were dramatic. Not only was the oil healing my nose, but it was bringing cancer to the surface that I didn't even know was there. Here are the pictures of my nose being healed with cannabis extract or hash oil. As you saw, the cancer was pulled to the surface and healed. Pretty dramatic. In this side view, you can clearly see the cancer being pulled to the surface and healed. The greenish-brown stuff you see is the oil. Once I realized that the hash oil had cured my cancer, I began to ask myself questions. Why hadn't my doctor heard about this? Why hadn't I heard about this before? If cannabis cures cancer, why would it be illegal? As I did more research, I began to realize it's about profit and politics.
But unless big pharmaceutical companies are behind these things, they may go nowhere, is that it?
Well, actually, Lloyd, I've had 2 other stories where drugs have shown great promise in the preclinical phase, and because they were orphan drugs and no one picked up, nobody could get the patent on it, they've gone nowhere. Drug companies won't be interested in funding studies for a drug that won't make them a profit.
This drug has great promise, so why aren't companies and institutions lining up to get behind it?
Because the drug isn't patented. If someone invests in researching it, they're not going to make a profit because anyone can make it. It costs, some say, about $100 million to get a new drug through all the phases of testing onto the market. So it will be interesting to see if this old drug actually gets a new chance at becoming an anti-cancer medication.
Typically get this eureka kind of feeling, and it's actually the most exciting thing a scientist can get.
I'm not going to have time to go into the history and politics of cannabis. I'll save that for the next video. I can tell you that cannabis used to be a very, very common medication. It was available in many forms. Here's a few examples of antique cannabis medications. This is a homeopathic cannabis sativa bottle. These are some cannabis indica tablets. This is a cannabis indica cough syrup. This is a bottle of cannabis pills. This is a bottle of cannabis extract. This is another bottle of cannabis extract. This is Dr. James cannabis indica extract. This is a corn cure. Its main ingredients were cannabis indica. This medicine was taken away from us, and now people are needlessly dying. It's absolutely ridiculous that this harmless medication isn't available for cancer patients. I ask you to please do everything within your power to get the word out that cannabis, without a doubt, cures cancer. The National Cancer Institute, the American Cancer Society, and members of our government have known since 1975 that cannabis cures cancer. The 1975 report has resurfaced and is now available online. It has become clear to me that because of politics and money, a cancer cure has been kept from us and people are needlessly dying. If you've lost somebody from cancer, the chances are their life could have been saved if the oil was available to them. Please share this information with every doctor, researcher, and news outlet you can think of. All we want to do is heal ourselves, and there shouldn't be a law against that.